who are questioning, and I think it's really important to support them.
I find it really interesting, a really interesting issue, and I like to see the sort of things that you're talking about. It's sort of leading edge within the school.
And I'm also just really interested by people's stories, and I think it's really important to show support, even though I'm not necessarily part of that community.
When I first came, people didn't talk about LGBT communities, they didn't talk about anything that come with it, exploring your sexuality, and I think Pride has really helped bring all of that to light and people discuss things, and definitely create a community that isn't just for the LGBT community, so it's not exclusive, it's more like a gay straight alliance.
It's allowed people to be educated about the differences between people, and that it's okay to be different to the social norm. And it's showed people that they're not necessarily alone, especially when teachers have talked, and it's made people feel a lot safer in a school environment.
I think it allows pupils to be comfortable with themselves, with who they are, and gain confidence about who they are and what they are.
Speaking to a friend of mine at the weekend, and she has two children who are in primary school and they are being ostracised at the moment, unfortunately, and she has actually asked me if I'd be willing to go down to her children's school and talk to the children and talk to the parents as well about what we're actually doing in this school. So the impact is phenomenal already. It is rippling out over the community, and I'm delighted.
It takes away that old-fashioned stigma.
I've been able to interview Ola Satchel, an open trans lady, Peter Tatchell, which was definitely probably the highlight of my year, and just meet all of these incredible people and feel like I can make a difference.
People's personal stories, some of the things they've experienced I found very moving and very emotional. Like the trans lady came in, like Andrea's talk, I found some moments in them very moving.
Yes, the highlight for me was hearing Dan, the history teacher, talking about his coming out, and the response from the students was that they wanted more of this. They wanted more adults to make themselves available with their own experience, and to, in some ways, to normalise the whole situation.
I got to go to the Stonewall conference last summer, where I met some incredible people and got to experience some incredible things. Like, it's not very often you can say you've had a selfie with Will Young. But two, you sort of got to meet like-minded people and discuss how you thought you could make a difference.
My acknowledgement of my own sexuality happened when I was in my teens, but I didn't actually acknowledge it when I got well into my 30s. So I wanted to share that with the students, and I wanted to let them know that there are different ways of approaching it, and the more we can speak about it, the more we can open up about it ourselves as adults, and for them as well, the less painful, I hope, the less uncomfortable their own journey will be.
I got the idea for writing my article basically coming out to the entire school, sort of creating awareness about the stigmatisms that are occurring, because it is very much a sense that homophobic language is being used frequently throughout the school, and I wanted to sort of bring light to that.
I gave a Pride talk on the back of a documentary that I did a couple of years ago about coming out, and it was on television, which was terrifying, but I also gave the talk about generally life after coming out and what my experience has been like, and share a bit of wisdom, because obviously we hear a lot about coming out and the process of coming out itself, but perhaps not as much about what life is like after, and it really does get better.
The impact it's had on me is that it's made me much more secure in my own sexuality, and my relationship with the pupils has been phenomenal. They have been very mature in their approach to the whole subject, and it's opened up a whole platform for us to be able to talk about absolutely anything now.
The first member of staff to do it in school as well was challenging, but it was great. I had a really positive experience, and actually, you know, we talk about it a lot in a very open way. Only this morning, talking about the Nazi treatment of homosexual men, and you know, really had a very enlightened, open discussion about it.
Everyone else can make a difference, and for me that's what it's about. It's making a difference and changing people's attitudes.
It makes it less of a taboo to talk about sexuality and the way you feel, and I think when it's a huge group of people it's a lot safer, and I think it's really important to feel safe in a school environment.
We'll move beyond just kind of, you know, straight lectures and talks to kind of discussion groups and wider issues, you know, that aren't just about sort of coming out, but you know, about life in general, because, you know, it's completely normal now to be gay and out. You know, sexuality no longer defines people. It defines some people. There's nothing wrong with that, but it's not be all and end all anymore. You know, and so it would be good to kind of broaden the discussion, I think.